Alright, it's time for the next installment of going for the no-roll challenge in every single pack in the game. So in episode 1 we looked at Turtle, Puppy and Star packs. I'll put a link to that video in the description if you haven't seen it. Today we're going to tackle the next 3 packs chronologically. I guess technically Customs was released at the same time as Star, but obviously there are pets in there that are much newer. And I think it's just nice and neat to go through the packs, kind of like in the order that you would if you're going for the gauntlet. So first we're starting out with Golden here. Now Golden has had some changes since the last time I went for a no-roll in it, but I guess it's probably still one of the easier packs to go for because there are so many pets that are just, plug and play, like high tempo options that you can just take without having to scale them. Obviously that's not the case for some units, but I think there are probably going to be overall more pets that you could just buy on level up than maybe in some of the other packs. Let me know if you don't agree with that. There might be some, maybe I'm overlooking something here, but I feel like there are a lot of pets in this pack that you can just buy on level up and then build around a bit more easily than you would some of the other packs. So here we get a nice start with the Groundhog Pied Tamarin combo. Obviously in no-roll, those types of pets can be a problem where they're kind of tied together. Like if you get Pied Tamarin on turn 1, it could be several turns before you get a Groundhog or a Stilt. But in this case it worked out perfectly. So here we get Cockatoo or Slug. Now Slug is an auto take, I think, because it's going to synergize with a fair few other units without necessarily having to be scaled. And yeah, having the Pied Tamarin level 2 plus the Fig is a good amount of disruption that should carry us through the early turns. Now, Slug, we could look for a few different things to pair with it. Saiga Antelope, for instance, is one. Dart Frog. I guess in the later game, some of the units are not going to be quite as effective like Cobra. If we don't have strong scaling options, we're not going to be able to roll for Pretzel and so on. I guess technically we could still use Bird of Paradise because you could keep a buy-sell slot open and just buy-sell the whole shop every turn. But yeah, I'm not sure how effective that really is. So yeah, taking units like Manta Ray that would potentially set you up for having Bop in the later turns, they're obviously not going to be as good because you just don't have anything to spend the gold on. So we sell the Stoat into PDF. So PDF I think was my number one choice really in terms of units that I wanted for this challenging golden pack. We also luckily get Potato here, so we can put that on the PDF as well, and then probably swap out the Cone Snail for Nyala. That just means that the Doggo will be bigger when it comes in. We don't necessarily need it to keep the Pied Tamarin going, but it also means that we can just get rid of the Groundhog whenever we feel like it. And even though PDF is a 1-1 stat line, having the Potato does protect it from a good amount of different things. And then the damage that it can output behind a Slug, and then also potentially the Retriever as well, is pretty nice. So here's another Slug. I think, yeah, we'll just change the order a bit and buy-sell this African Penguin. Okay, we're going to give up on the Doggo and just take another Slug in the backline. I think that's fine. That prepares us for Saiga Antelope as well. I guess one of the things I think you find with no-roll a lot of the time is that you are willing to take pets from previous tiers much more readily. I mean, oftentimes you're just not going to be offered anything in the shop that is going to be worthwhile from a higher tier. And here we get the level up on the Pied Tamarin, and we also get another Nyala. Now, I think the obvious thing to do here is just put Chocolate Cake on the Nyala and maybe combine the slugs together. But I'm not sure if that's what I actually go ahead and do here. Yeah, okay, combine the slugs and then bring in the Nyala and then just Chocolate Cake. Yep. Chocolate Cake, another very strong option in no-roll because it gives you that level skipping. And on pets like Nyala, you don't really care about losing out on the 3-4 unit there. Now here the Potato protects against the Snipe, In fact, 2 snipes there, so that was perfect. And the PDF snipe takes care of the beetle in the back. Really would be nice to get the PDF level up, although are we going to take it here? I think I should actually just go for Nyala level 3 and then take the Nurse Shark. And then probably just Potato. Yep. I think we're going to be able to chip away at the Star Pack team, even though the PDF, even though the snipe managed to miss the reindeer. And yeah, we win again with the PDF on 1 HP. So Tomato could be an upgrade on maybe the Pytamarin. Yep. But otherwise, not much we can do. Roll team from Star Pack. Once again, the Potato comes in unbelievably clutch because it keeps the PDF alive. I think PDF is one of those units that really benefits from the way that like your average team functions in Arena. There are so many people who are going to have, big stat units and not necessarily mechanical teams or very disruptive teams. Certainly fewer than in customs, I would say. And so when you're much more likely to get value out of Potato when your opponents aren't like directly counterplaying it. So yeah, another fairly strong looking opposing team taken care of quite handily by the double chocolate cake. Now here I think I end up buying the honeydew melon, which I'm not sure I should do. I think I put it on the PDF. I think it's much better just to keep the Potato there. I think it's just a case of feeling like I have to buy whatever I can buy because it's no roll. And then here we go again, another scaling team. They do have some disruption in the form of the Visitor, but then we take out the Unicorn, which means that they're not going to get any healing, and the PDF snipes are going to get the job done. So yeah, Golden Pack, I wasn't too worried about it. I mean, obviously we only just have the PDF left at the end there, but it was a level 1 the whole way, and I think we were quite lucky to get the Nurse Shark Nyala chocolate cake combo going there. So now we move on to Unicorn. And I think Unicorn is maybe also kind of in the same boat as Golden, in that it doesn't necessarily require you to have high scaling to win. However, again, like Star Pack, it does have a role archetype. So there are units that are completely worthless. Now, I did mention in the last video that I wasn't allowing myself to take Yeti. Everyone asked about that the last time I did a no-roll in Unicorn. Yeti rolls the shop, so you cannot take Yeti. There wouldn't be a no-roll challenge if you took Yeti. But then it also means you were locked out of units like Worm of Sand. I mean, you can take Bigfoot if you want, you just don't get any benefit from it. And yeah, what are the other role pets? I guess Nessie, you could still use Nessie because it provides a summon no matter what. I don't remember if that was the same way back at the beginning when I first did no roll in Unicorn. I think it was. But either way, yeah, you could still take it as a summon, but it's not going to be quite as effective. Now here, the doggo coming in actually blocks the Surgeonfish from activating there, I think. And of course, Unicorn Pack also has the advantage of having 2 different ways to buy chocolate from the food shop. So we've got gingerbread on tier 3, and we actually get double gingerbread here, which is incredible. And I'm just having a think about how I'm going to rearrange the team here. I think I should put the Tiger Bug second. Not sure I meant to combine the Ogopogos there. That might have been a blunder. Or maybe I did mean it and I just don't remember why. But if we arrange this way, then we'll get level 2 Tiger Bug. It's just a very, very strong unit when you get that level skip. In fact, to be honest, I think it's just a strong unit in general. Being able to instantly snipe for 2 hits of 6 damage on turn 5, that's pretty nasty. So I think here we'll just take the Mandrake of the options offered. I mean, we could take Fur-Bearing Trout for the Pengobble, but I think we're going to try and get rid of Pengobble fairly shortly. And then Mandrake handily takes care of the buffs from the Gargoyle. And we should get the win. This is absolute dreamland here. We get the partial level up on the Tiger Bug, plus we also get a Brain Cramp. Now, Brain Cramp's one of those units that I really don't like, but if you're going for one of these challenges, you just have to put all your prejudices aside and take the best units for the job. And Brain Cramp gaining Melon plus 4 attack, it's just wild really to be as a tier 3. And we'll go for the level up so we're not actually required to keep the Ogopogo. Although we now have 3 units with gingerbread level ups. So potentially getting a level up on on turn 9 into Team Spirit would be incredible. And we're actually matching against quite a few unicorn teams. I'm not sure how the matchmaking works in static. I think, yeah, okay, we do lose here. I feel like if you're in a particular pack, you're more likely to face that pack. But that could just be, my imagination or confirmation bias, whatever you want to call it. We need to get rid of the tier 1s. We've lost our first heart. I think we'll rearrange here and go for a level 2 visitor. And yeah, maybe I should have put the extra experience on the Vampire Bat there. I don't know. But yeah, the Vampire Bat is now just going to do massive damage. It goes up to 21 health, which seems a bit unfair for the turn of the game, but that's just the way it works. And then I think, again, yeah, Vampire Bat should go closer to the Ogopogo, and it will become level 2. So we're basically getting a full team of level 2s here without actually having any at all. Okay, maybe not now that I've changed the order. I think I was just afraid of units getting sniped to the back there, I guess. But once again, yeah, big damage from the Vampire Bat. And then double damage from the Icky. And that puts us on 9. So there is actually Team Spirit in the shop. Yeah, okay, I'm going to take the level up. And I could take Team Spirit here, although I think maybe it would be better just to keep the Ogopogo and, go for broke, hoping that the Vampire Bat level 2 would be good enough. Or maybe I'm not even going to rearrange here. Maybe we're just going to keep things the way they are. I guess it is turn 11. So probably we're expecting to win against most non-snipe teams here. And yeah, it definitely looks like the case. A lot of teams by turn 11 just aren't quite going yet. I think that team probably didn't have much of a future, but winning on turn 11 worked out perfectly. So next up we go to the newest pack, which is Danger. Now I have already done a Danger pack no-roll video, but it was on the previous version. I'm not sure how close to release I actually did the no-roll run. But there have been a lot of changes to a lot of units. I still think it is in the similar category to Unicorn and Golden, is that you don't need gigantic scaling, and there aren't any roll pets, and there's no sort of buy-selling like Dragon and Bird of Paradise. And there are also some very strong early game units like the Sacred Falcon here that we get on turn 3, 2 of them in fact. It's a real dopamine boost when you're going for no roll and you just get that random double in the shot. I should also mention that when you've been playing no roll for as long as I had at this point, you do start to find it quite difficult to go back to playing normal. Like I would go and play customs trying to record something else, and then find that I was very reluctant to actually roll the shop, even though that makes very little sense. But yeah, I think this definitely is a game of muscle memory for sure. So we make a bit of a mini pivot there. We take the Taki, and I think that's really just because Taki has a couple of different use cases in the sense that it is both a summoner and it will also provide a jump. Therefore, we can integrate different pets further down the line. I think it's a bit late to take the mannequin in the shop there. That is a kind of an example of it. You know, if you have the Taki, it will work with mannequin, but the mannequin will also work with the transform pet. So having these kind of dual role units, I think, makes quite a big difference in terms of being able to cobble together a team later down the line. So we're offered a couple of tier 3s here. Actually, a whole shop of tier 3s. I never noticed that when I was actually playing the game. But I'm going to turn them all down. I guess that's fair enough because I don't think we don't really have the team set up for any of them. Is this the same team back to back or is it just 2 star pack opponents? Sicker Falcon very good at eking out these draws. So we get a Vanilla Bean in shop. Now, that is a useful item for sure, but of course we can't roll the shop, so we can't actually position pets without buy-selling. I think here I might just take it. Okay, maybe not. We're just going to take the banana and then also the partial level on the Pika. The other problem with the Vanilla Bean in no roll is that, you know, when you level up, the 2 pets that have been revealed on level up will both be on the left hand side of the shop. So you know the Vanilla Bean kind of gets wasted in that situation. So we'll take the Krill and go for Ambrosia on the Falcon. Now I could potentially go for Pygmy Hippo here and Bonobo just because they're so because the Pygmy Hippo base stats are so good. But I think instead we're probably going to throw for the Saker Falcon level up. I mean, I guess it's technically possible that we might not lose. I don't know why I put the Dakushi at the back. Yeah, that's a real throw, but that was not deliberate. We should be losing against this team. I don't think the order would have made any difference. Okay, maybe it would have actually mattered. We're all set now. We get our level up, and then we get a bunch of units in the shop here that are definitely takeable. So level up. Okay, we're going to buy sell stuff first, I guess. So we could buy the Thrush and then use the Vanilla Bean on the II. Okay, maybe not. I guess I want to use the Vanilla Bean on the other 2 tier 5s. And then we actually get a Scalar or another Jumper. So there's a couple of different options here. The Sumatran Tiger would work with the Thrush. But I guess I'm happy enough to keep the Takushi, which will then end up moving II to the back. And look, this looks like a win to me. Definitely. I think Takushi is just one of the most satisfying pets to play in this pack. You know, being able to rearrange your lineup mid-battle like that. I mean, it is obviously subject to disruption quite often, but one of the best additions from Danger Pack for sure. And then here we luckily get 2 triggers again from the Thrush. And then Cocoa Bean is another one that is very strong as just, you know, to upgrade these types of units that that otherwise aren't doing a whole lot. Now, here we could actually replace the II with the Black Rhino, which I think is what's going to happen. Black Rhino does require 1 extra attack, I think, but I think overall it's just more useful. And then we have the chocolate. Should definitely freeze the carrot as well. I think on turn 11 you might not be freezing the carrot too often, but yeah, in this situation it definitely makes sense. Now here I don't think we're going to have enough to get the Rhino to trigger. Yep, it's good old MC Ebad with the double bop in Golden Pack, same as, I don't know, 3 years ago. We're going to get a partial level on the Hornbill. And having the level up on the Rhino is incredible, but I think we probably need some more Cocoa Beans to give ourselves a better chance of getting the activation. Here we were quite fortunate that the elephant knocked out its own blowfish. And hopefully we get some protective equipment here. Yeah, white ochre, absolutely perfect. And then we might as well take the red pea on the snow leopard, give it a better chance of surviving that first jump attack. Now it's not going to work here, is it? Yeah, because they had, I think they had steak there. But we do get an extra summon because of the doggo. So we should get the activation here. Yeah, and the white ochre helps out. Level 2 Hornbill. Might as well just take the transformation on the thrush. Maybe there's actually an argument not to do that in case you get jump attacked by wild dog and transform before you get any of the triggers. So maybe that was a situation where I should have just, clicked end turn. But here, the white ochre blocking the ailment from the flea is very important. And we get the double snipe. Otherwise, we were done for there. Okay, pancakes probably on the thrush this time. Or maybe not. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to replace the banana. We only need 2 more wins, and I feel like this run has been pretty lucky so far. We didn't really have the greatest start either. Reasonably strong looking Spino team, but I think we can already see what's going to happen here. That the Rhino is going to get to trigger, and it doesn't matter how many stats the Spino gained in the end. Very little we can do on this turn. I think definitely that is one of the issues with Danger Pack. It has very few foods for you to buy, so the odds of finding any are very poor. Here's a Star Pack team that's going to prove way too strong for us. I think here I might actually be willing to take the Cocoa Bean instead of the White Ochre on the Snow Leopard. I think that is what we're going to do. That should guarantee us at least 1 more summon. And then it's Golden Pack next. This is looking like another very strong team with absolutely massive stats. We're only going to get a 2-2 doggo compared to their 27-27. So I think, even though the snipe is going to come in, the Rhino's just not going to have enough. So down to 1 heart. I think we need a bit of good fortune here for this to go through. Maybe I could have taken the maple syrup there on the falcon, but it's unicorn, and we instantly kill the Cerberus, which would have been a huge amount of damage from the Tatzelworm. Not sure if the snipe actually mattered there or not, because we get wolf from the Cocoa Bean. It could well have been that, whichever unit the Snow Leopard attacked there, we still would have won with those transformations. But yeah, did not fancy my chances there on turn 18 in a no-roll game.